Right, welcome back to the channel everyone. It's extremely windy today, but we've come out because I want to give you a little bit of an update about what we're doing. So, let's just do some housekeeping first. Bob's screen was posted yesterday, so congrats to Bob.
Bob.
He's won, his screen's on his way.
Not to Bali.
Not to Bali, no, even though he is Bob from Bali, he's not going to Bali. I also want to say thank you because we actually had a couple more super thanks on the last couple of videos.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So I think Nigel was one, the count around Australia, and I'll put people across the bottom if you were very kind and gave super thanks to help fix my BSA.
Yeah, big thanks.
Another question people had in the comments was, why don't you just put it through insurance? I didn't actually answer this at the time, and the reason I didn't put it through insurance or make a claim against my insurance is because it would have been overly expensive, potentially written off the bike. I do actually really like this bike. I know you could just replace it for another BSA, but I'm quite fond of my one. It would also have taken a long time to get the bike to, well, you'd be on the phone, wouldn't you, forever on hold. Then you'd have to have an engineer come and check it. You'd have to have reports. It would have to go to a dealer to be repaired or replaced. And the dealer wouldn't be on forums like I was, chatting to people and ringing people up trying to see if they've got any spare parts. They would just list price everything up, and you know, you'd end up with a stupidly expensive repair. And it would also, more importantly, I wouldn't have a bike for 3 or 4 months, would I? Because it'd be off the road, be getting parts. So
Oh dear, that would be sad, Sean.
that'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. So I've decided to do the bike myself. So that's why we didn't put it through insurance. Another question people had was, what was the experience of the BSA spares? You know, how did that whole system back me up as somebody who needed spare parts? And the answer is actually not very well. BSA is quite disorganized when it comes to the distribution of spare parts. Like, I couldn't get, for example, the mudguard, which is, I'll just hide so it focuses on the mudguard. I couldn't get that, and I couldn't get this. That had to rely on donations. I could get some other parts, but certain parts I just couldn't get. I also tried to contact Lucas Distribution to get some of the parts or get some updates on them. Didn't get anything. Didn't get a reply to a Facebook message. Didn't get a reply to an email. And the email, I actually wrote a nice email just offering them to do some kind of work together, saying I'm a passionate supporter of BSA motorcycles. You know, send me some parts. You know, maybe I'll do some videos on your accessory range or something. Whoa, I'm gonna blow away here in a minute. Just nada, didn't get anything back. Rang Lucas at 2 p.m. on a Friday. Nobody answered the phone, nobody called me back. So from that point of view, we didn't get a lot of help with the parts. So I had to rely on owners and the aftermarket of the BSA community to help me get this bike fixed.
Which has been wild, might I add.
Which is incredible.
Never mind any distributors.
Exactly. I
You
think,
guys are amazing.
and also the tuning companies like More Speed
Yeah.
Racing. Those are the people that have really stepped in to sort this thing out. The thing I'm going to talk about today is actually crash protection. And that was another thing everybody mentioned in the comments, was if you had crash bars, then this wouldn't be as bad. And that is true. The crash bars aren't actually available from BSA yet. So I've been exploring some options myself to, I know the horse is already bolted, but to stop this ever happening again. The first thing I was looking at, which I'll just show you, is aftermarket crash protection. So these can be had on eBay for about £30.
Just the camera woman didn't clip her hair, so I feel like I can't see anything here. We're having wind-related hair issues in the background.
You didn't do very well when you were filming last time, do you remember? So you're on your last chance to
Oh.
learn. You want a job in the new year, you have to put your ideas up. Okay, so this is basically the universal fit crash bar. That is actually for the other side, so let me just get the one out for the side that we're going to show you. So you obviously get a pair. And the idea is that you attach these pieces to a cradle frame and they go somewhere. Come over here.
Spent a long time fiddling with it.
So ideally, the frame has a tube that runs along the bottom of the bike, and then this sort of clamp attaches to the bottom, and then you then mount it to a bolt somewhere on the frame of the bike. However, try as me might, we put these bars everywhere,
Our
and
Tetris speciality.
and they just didn't fit. The other thing I was concerned about was if we do mount a bar low down, can you zoom in on this bar here? Say we were able to fit that bar down there. If the bike then fell on this, it would just pivot on this and plant straight onto the tank, which obviously I was very lucky not to damage the first time round. So I think these...
The crash bars, actually, you don't want them super low, do you?
You really want them up here somewhere, I think. Like, you really want them there, somewhere like that, so that it just protects the bike, the exhaust and the tank. So that was a no-go. But what I'll show you today is my solution for the crash protection, which I've thought long and hard about.
About to watch one of those like A&E videos. You know, my friend actually cut her hand opening a box full of crystals with a sharp knife. So this can happen to anybody.
Right, so this is all going to blow away, isn't it? Because this is one I didn't prepare earlier. So we'll have to cut this bit out because... Oh, okay. Right, so a box emerges. And I'll put all the material back in. Lost one bit, but saved most of it. Okay, so this is the R&G BSA Goldstar specific crash protection kit. And it's not an engine bar per se, but it is a crash bung, which is slightly less classic looking. But essentially, I'll show you how it works. This is the gubbins of the kit. So what you would do is fit this piece here. And this might be the one from the left-hand side.
It's made for BSA.
Made for BSA. It mounts with the bolt holes, which if you zoom in on there.
The actual one.
Okay. So there's not very many places to mount on a BSA Goldstar. This Rotax engine is attached to the cradle frame using this adapter plate here. Because the exhaust is in the way, that's really the only place to fit this kind of engine protection. So this plate, which as you can see is quite robust steel, slots in there, and then this bung attaches to the edge. The idea being that if the bike then falls, lands on the bung instead of the exhaust, the peg and the tank and everything else. So what we're going to do today is try and fit this protection system and just see how good it is. And then when it's done, the bike will be a lot more protected than it was before.
And we'll show you what it looks like and how it's done, and you can let us know what you think, everybody, because we've deliberated this quite a lot.
And we won't put music over the fitting, because I know quite a few people absolutely hated that. So
dear.
there
What
won't be
about
any.
me singing, everybody?
That might come under music, so I'm afraid that's also banned. We can't do that either.
Well, I like that you said it might come under music.
Yeah, if you,
What else does it come under?
we generously categorise that
Wailing
as
banshee.
as music, background noise. Right, we'll see how this goes then, and check back in a bit. To fit the R&G crash protector, you actually have to jack the engine up, which is harder than it looks on a BSA Goldstar, because there's actually nowhere really that isn't covered. Got this plate here that you couldn't really put a jack on, and if you did that, you just lift the frame up, whereas the weight of the engine would still be coming down on the frame. You've also got this little bracket here again, which is attached to the frame and prevents access to the engine. I'll just lower the camera down so you can see. So I'm just going to use an engine jack and a little block of wood, and you see as I start to press on the handle, the bike is actually rocking up, so I know that now the weight of the bike is mainly on the engine. So that should give us the opportunity to start undoing these bolts here, because there's no weight of this onto the frame. If those bolts come out easily, then that's half the job done. One thing I've noticed is the instructions are already incorrect, because I'm reading here and it says you need a 17 and 19 millimeter socket, whereas I put the 17 on here and it's already too big for those bolts, so it probably is a 15. So instructions are wrong. Sorry, RMG. Let's get a 15. Oh, hang on a minute. It might even be a 14, you know. Yeah, it's a 14mm. Right. Let's see if we can get these undone. Alright, it's starting to come loose. Alright, we've got the nut moving the other side, have we? Right, out you come. That's it. Huh. That came out easy enough. Okay, so for this one, you can see we're using the ring spanner just to hold that nut in place so we can start unscrewing the other side. That bolt has come out surprisingly easy with no hassle, so that is a good start. Okay, so here's my parts. I've got these replacement bolts, got 3 of them. I've got a washer to go on each side of the bolt, and I've got a nylock nut. If you are doing this, you're going to require a size 8 Allen key to install the bolt, and you also need a 17mm ring spanner, can't speak, that's the 19, 17mm ring spanner to secure the nut the other side when you start to push this bolt through. I'm going to get some copper slip just to coat these, as I always do that when I'm reassembling parts that could seize in the future. Nice clean bolts. Okay, and offer up the part. Looks like it's as simple as dropping that into place, sliding the bolt through. And the same at the other side. Just move that rubber hose just a tad, come on. It's complete, and now let's go around the other side. I think we have to undo a few bits this side. I think that earth strap's going to be in the way. So you can see there's the starter motor earth strap, which I'll have to undo. I don't know what else is going to be in the way to get that in there, but we'll find out. Okay, I've just tucked the earth strap out of the way. See if I can get this piece into place. There you go, bit of sun. Right, this stage 1. See if I can get my hand around there. Right, watch might have to come off. Okay, get my hand around here and start. Okay, so you can see how, well, it's a bit cluttered in there, but I've got to get that earth strap back on there, which is going to be a bit fiddly. You can see they've cut out a little semicircle to allow clearance for that. And then we'll put the piece in the middle. There's actually a bracket that supports those 2 sort of top ends of the engine bar, and then we'll bolt it all up. Okay, right, well, let's get going. Okay, in there. Okay. Okay, so we're mocked up. Let's just start tightening everything up. Right, if you are going to do this, then by all means use a 17mm socket, put the nut inside it, and then use that to get in these tight spaces. See, that gives you a little bit more clearance. Okay, final one, which is probably the worst one to do. It's behind this hose. I got the washer on. I had no idea how I'm going to get this nut on there. I might need a 17mm open spanner for this job. You can't even see what I'm trying to do. Behind that, so you got one there at the top, one of the bolts, and then you've got a second bolt just in there, which I've got a nut onto, and the third and final one, see him? Just in there behind that hose. So that's the challenge, to get that bolt, which I might be able to do because I've got small fingers. Oh, go on. Dropped it. Dropped it again. Third time of dropping this little nut. No, don't drop it again. Okay, fourth time. He's biting. He's biting. I've got him. Fifth time lucky. Now he's on. Can try and get this 17 in there. So they say torque this up to 40 Newton meters. So I've set the wrench. Let's use my 8mm hex the other side. So we basically need one person one side,
Yeah.
and the other side,
Okay.
just to torque up the bolts for the engine crash bung. So what I was going to get you to do for the first one, this hex key, just hold it there, and then I'll tighten the other side. And for the last one, which is hard to reach, if you hold the spanner that side, I'll rotate the hex key this side and just do it up as tight as we can.
You wanted me to right now?
Yep, of course.
Just finish my lunch.
Come on.
The workers can't eat around here.
The workers can't eat now.
I'm also in scruffs, you know.
Well, you're doing bike mechanicking. Okay, so this one is just hold there.
Oh my god. Okay.
There you go, that's it clicked, so that means that we're up to the correct torque setting.
Okay.
Now if you go down to that one,
Yep.
we should hear another click. You got it?
Yep.
Are you doing it or not?
It's so hard. No, I can't hold it.
Well, you just do the torquing then.
Okay.
You're used to that.
Talking. I can do the talking.
So you just apply torque
yeah, I
to
know how
this
to talk it.
until it stops. Okay, ready?
What am I doing? Which one? That one.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, that click, that means it's done. So you were very close to the torque setting, to be honest.
Oh, and the other one you can't get to.
The other one, you can get a spanner onto it though. All right, we might have a solution. Yes, we do. The solution,
Put your hand behind it. Go.
there you go. So this little hex key might solve our problem. Try and turn it. That's it. Great job. That's it. There you go. You go. It clicked.
Flipping heck.
There you go. So we're torqued out. Well done. 40 Newton meters.
Good work.
Not often I do things up to the correct torque setting. Normally it's just a bit of a guesswork. We've done it correctly.
Lovely day for it. You have to get out on it, won't you?
Hope so.
What did you say about the car?
It's got it ready to collect.
Oh, cool. What's wrong with it?
New battery. There was no charge to the power steering pump apparently, and they said it was a weak battery. Right, next we just want to get this earth strap back on, which might be a bit of a pig. Right, and finally we just need to put the bungs on. and put these little rubber caps that they've got for the bolt head and the nut to stop it deteriorating. Actually quite a good kit, I'm really happy with it. You don't really need to read the instructions, you just need to look at these pictures. Because if you look at the pictures, it kind of explains everything. Picture tells 1,000 words, they say. And then you've got these little caps, little plastic caps, that go neatly and stop you having exposed bolts. So I'll just zoom the camera in. 1, 2. Go on. See that little bung in there? Finally seated it. Let's do the 3 on this side. Okay, done. Right, well that's the installation of the crash bung complete, and I'm really impressed with the R&G kit. I think it's very solid, big chunky pieces of steel. It doesn't look quite as classic as a good set of engine bars would, but I think that's a better, stronger solution than probably what's going to come from BSA or indeed any universal fit engine bars. It feels really, really solid, and now it's all done, torqued up, can be a bit more confident with the bike. So let me know what you think about the R&G solution. Just be interested to hear your comments. But yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you in the next one.